Hey everybody, good afternoon. I was supposed to have a 1 o'clock podcast today about autism awareness, which is why I have on my autism shirt, but the young lady was not able to make it. So I'm just going to highlight a little bit about men's mental health. Um, I think it's very important to start with your children, your boys, when they are very young, dads, about getting them to open up about how they are feeling. Sometimes what I've seen is that a lot of boys are now grown men and they don't know how to effectively communicate because they were taught very early on, like, to be tough, tough it out. We don't cry. Real men don't cry. Well, yeah, yes, you do. You should anyway. Yeah, you have to release those emotions. Whether if you're in a relationship and you're dating someone, or if you're married, or even if you have children with someone and you're not married to them, you you need to communicate and let people know what's going on, right? You need to let them know that you need some support, or maybe you need a break. Your break might be if you like to fish, golf, or whatever. You might need that downtime to yourself, but you shouldn't be afraid to say, hey, I need some help, or I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I've been feeling depressed. There's so many stigmas around mental health, which is why men, they they won't go get help, even though they know that they need it. So I'm encouraging you all, if you know and realize that you need some help, reach out. There's lots of resources. If your initial step, maybe you're not ready for therapy, virtual or face to face, but maybe you are willing to call one of the helplines to talk to someone because you don't know them and they don't know you. There's plenty of resources out here. You can always inbox me on my personal page on social media, or the Empowering Minds mental health podcast page via Facebook. Listen, there's peer support, and we serve a good portion of North Carolina. So you may need peer support. I know people who are life coaches. I can get you in contact with them. I know licensed clinical social workers. I know psychiatrists. You know, it's a lot of resources that I can tap into and connect you to if you need those resources. And so again, this is June is Men's Mental Health Month, but what I've seen and what I've noticed is that it's not talked about as often as it should be. I wouldn't just limit it to June being the month, but yeah, for example, if you belong to a church, yeah, y'all can incorporate some things if you get together once a month. It could be something, again, a fishing trip, or a night at Top Golf. Just a place of comfort and safety. I mean, it could be at your own church. Maybe you get together and do a potluck, or, you know, uh, you can grill at the church, and people bring the sides, or whatever the case may be. Get together and have a good fellowship in a safe space. All right. So, men, I encourage you to make conversations around mental health, make it a normal part of conversation. It doesn't have to be taboo. There's a lot of people out here who they know they need help, but they just rather suffer. I used to be one of those people. Yeah, I was embarrassed. So I'm telling you, just from lived experience, it's nothing to be embarrassed about if you know you need resources because you're overwhelmed, or you may be anxious. A lot of people, or men that I know that are in therapy, they don't have a mental health diagnosis. They don't have a mental health issue. They are in therapy because life is life and they are overwhelmed. And they are in therapy to learn some coping skills on how to balance their work life and their home life. Something simple as that. So it doesn't have to always be around a diagnosis. So again, I encourage you, please, sir, get you some help. If you have young men and you need some resources for them so that you can learn to have effective conversations with them so they can become comfortable in coming to even tell you how they're feeling going on in their mental health and their mental well-being, I have connections and resources for that too. All right. Peace and blessings until next time. Y'all take care. Have a blessed day.